welcome to another Wednesday Wandering with me, Kate Field. Wandering about stuff and not just wandering off. These are the little podcasts where I take a moment to reflect on creativity, inspiration and the arts. And today I am wondering about one of my all-time favourite authors, the brilliant Jane Austen, because it was her birthday yesterday. Now, if you've been following me on X, you know that I am reading Persuasion this weekend for might be the 26th time, I think. And yes, Anne Elliot feels like an old friend. Jane Austen is often celebrated for her sharp social commentary, her timeless romance, clever plotting, but today I want to explore two of her most enduring qualities as a writer: the strength of her female characters and her humour, that wonderfully subtle wit that just dances through all of her novels. So let's have a little wonder about the strength of Austen's female characters. So her heroines, because they aren't this kind of sword-wielding warriors or larger-than-life figures. Their strength is quiet and interior and beautifully human. So think of Elizabeth Bennet in Pride and Prejudice, witty, independent, unwilling to settle for anything less than what she deserves. Emma Woodhouse, self-assured, sometimes flawed, but ultimately brave enough to see herself clearly and change for the better. And my personal favourite, of course, Anne Elliot in Persuasion. Anne doesn't shout her strength. Hers is resilience built through years of disappointment and quiet endurance. She's calm and perceptive, proving that strength doesn't always look bold or loud. It can be found in grace and kindness and inner resolve. I particularly enjoy Anne Elliot's relationship with other women in the story. And what I find particularly interesting is how these relationships in Persuasion reveal her character's depth and resilience. So, for example, her sisters, Elizabeth, who is really annoying, cold, vain, dismissive, and Mary, who's perpetually self-absorbed and quite demanding. These relationships often leave Anne overlooked and I feel undervalued within her own family. But Anne maintains her composure and her kindness, demonstrating her emotional strength. So I'm just going to find my glasses again. By refusing to be embittered by their treatment. And then there's her relationship with Lady Russell, her trusted confidant and the maternal figure in Anne's life. And while Lady Russell's advice to break off her engagement to Captain Wentworth was given with good intentions, it caused Anne deep heartache. But Anne doesn't let this disagreement fracture their bond. I'm not sure I'd be the same. Instead, she navigates the complexities of their relationship with maturity and understanding, proving that forgiveness and perspective are essential in their friendships. And then finally there's Mrs. Smith, Anne's old school friend, who's now widowed and living in reduced circumstances. And despite Mrs. Smith's difficult position, Anne visits her with genuine warmth and affection, offering companionship and respect. And this friendship not only highlights Anne's empathy, but also serves as a contrast to the more superficial relationships of other people in her social circle. And it's through these interactions that Austen showcases Anne's grace and her integrity. She's a heroine who navigates difficult relationships with compassion and strength, offering us another layer to admire in her character. Austen's women are remarkable because they feel real. They wrestle with societal pressures, personal doubts, the search for love and purpose, challenges that we can still relate to today. She allows them to have flaws, to grow, to stumble, to triumph, and there's something deeply comforting in that, I think. But there's also a subtle humour in Jane Austen's novels. And I don't think we talk about it enough, actually. Her novels are far funnier than their reputations as classic literature might suggest, but her humour is a quiet, observational wit, a raised eyebrow rather than a kind of bursting out into a fit of giggles. So let's take Mr. Collins in Pride and Prejudice, for example. He's the very picture of an absurd pomposity. Mrs. Elton in Emma, whose pretentious ramblings practically beg you to roll your eyes. Austen is a master of irony, gently mocking her characters while never losing sight of their humanity. She has a way of poking fun at society itself, its rigid class structures, its matchmaking mothers, obsession with wealth and prosperity. But she does it with such elegance and restraint, and you never feel like she's shouting her point. Instead, it's kind of delivered with a sly smile, I think. One of my favourite comes from Northanger Abbey. Austen humorously defends the novel as a form of literature by saying, "The person, be it gentleman or lady, who has not pleasure in a good novel must be intolerably stupid." She's quite cheeky, isn't she? I love it. So, why does Jane Austen still matter? Well, I think Austen's heroines and the way that she writes so wittily reminds us that life's challenges, whether heartbreak, societal expectations, personal doubts, they can be faced with grace, intelligence, and even a bit of humour. And her work shows us that strength and wit are not mutually exclusive, because this is really quite important. So for those of us who love Austen and her novels, they're like returning to a familiar place. This is what I love. The women's voices are clear. The wit shines through life's absurdities, and when love comes, it feels earned. I know, it's wonderful. So this weekend, I will be sitting down with Persuasion once again, marvelling at Anne Elliot's quiet courage, smiling at Jane Austen's ever-present wit. And if you haven't read Austen for a while, or perhaps you've never read her, now is the time to do it. Tuck yourself away, nice comfy armchair, cup of tea, and just dive into the wonderful world of Jane Austen. So this is me, Wednesday Wandering. I really hope you have enjoyed this one. Perhaps you'd like to give it a bit of a like, and I will see you next time, which will be pre-recorded because it is Christmas Day. Take care. Bye-bye.